Hey guys, this is Ali, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is a collaboration with the YouTube channel Simply HamHam, and we'll be comparing hamsters and rabbits. I'm going to be covering a few topics in my video, and in their video they're going to be covering a few other topics, so be sure to check out their video as well, and be sure to like and subscribe to the both of us. Let's get on with this video now. Now, the first topic we're going to be talking about is size. Rabbits can be anywhere from 2 pounds to 25 pounds, or they can be even larger depending on their breed. In general, though, most house rabbits are anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds, and just for reference, Odyssey is 4 pounds.
Hamsters vary in size and weight due to the different species. For example, the smallest species, the Roborovsky, can weigh anywhere from 30 grams, whereas the largest Syrians can weigh up to 300 grams. Their size also ranges from around 5 centimeters to 18 centimeters, depending again on species.
Now, the next topic we're talking about is health. Rabbits need daily and weekly health checks, and these health checks just make sure that your rabbit is behaving normally. They don't have any lumps on them. They are not eating or anything. Just make sure that they're healthy, and they need vet visits once a year for younger rabbits and 2 times a year for senior rabbits that are over 6 years old. They need to be fixed unless they medically can't be, and nail trimmings need to be done every couple weeks. Combing needs to be done at least once a week. If they're molting, then it needs to be done even more than that. And scent glands need to be cleaned every few weeks. Rabbits are highly susceptible to many different illnesses because they have a super sensitive respiratory system and GI tract. Some things that they are very high risk for are GI stasis and upper respiratory infections.
When it comes to hamsters and health checks, they don't need to be done too often. It's highly recommended to do a weekly health check in which you will be checking for any abnormalities. Vet visits, unlike with rabbits, aren't necessary. Some people do prefer to go just for a checkup once or twice a year, especially with older hamsters. However, this is not necessary. Nail and teeth clipping aren't necessary unless there is a health issue or if they get way too long, and they are susceptible to different abscesses, tumours, lumps, and respiratory illnesses, so you do need to be watching out for that.
The next topic is enclosure setup. Unlike hamsters, rabbits do not need to live in a cage and do best with a large enclosure or free roaming in a room or a whole house. In their place, though, they need solid, comfortable flooring such as a rug, a large litter box with safe litter and lots of hay, hideouts with multiple exits and entrances, a water dish, and lots of toys to keep them entertained.
While a lot of people do have different opinions on what is necessary in a hamster cage, the things that absolutely must be in there at all times is a hide, or even more hides are recommended. This is because if your hamster gets spooked, which they probably will at least at some point in their lives because they are prey animals, they need somewhere to hide and feel safe. The next thing that they also need is a running wheel. Now, there are different sizes for the wheel depending on the species. These are absolutely necessary because hamsters run 5 to 10 miles a night in the wild, and they need somewhere to get out all that energy. This should also be accompanied by a large cage, which is over the bare minimum of 450 square inches. Then you need obviously water and food, and you also need a sand bath. That is something that a lot of people do not acknowledge that a hamster needs. The reason they need this is because they can get rid of excess oil and...
Next topic is enrichment. Rabbits need lots of enrichment to keep them entertained because rabbits can be bored very easily. Rabbits benefit most from social enrichment, which means getting them a friend, and they can also benefit from throwing toys, digging toys, chewing toys, foraging enrichment, hiding enrichment with lots of different hideouts, and lots of levels also for them to play on.
Enrichment is important for any animal, especially hamsters. This is because it keeps the brain active and healthy, as well as keeps the animal happy. Here are some ways you can enrich your hamster. The first way is digging. This can be done by providing lots of substrate for your hamster to dig in with a minimum of 6 inches, but preferred 10 inches or more. You can also add different substrates like cocoa soil for your hamster to dig in. Next is chewing. There should be different chew toys for your hamster to chew on from different materials, for example wood and other natural materials, because your hamster's teeth continuously grow. This can also be an enrichment source. Foraging is another main source of enrichment many people use. You can sprinkle different types of food, for example, herbs or sprays around the cage so your hamster has something to eat, and this would be things they would normally find in the wild. However, if you do not have access to these things, just sprinkling your hamster's normal mix around the cage is fine because hamsters have
Now, the next topic is playtime. Rabbits need at least 6 hours out of a pen or a room if they live in one, but more is always preferred. If they free roam through the whole house, obviously you cannot let them out for playtime, but it's always good to switch out their toys or add new ones to make it more interesting for them.
Many people think of hamsters as little cuddly toys who would love to be played with all the time, hours on end, never going back to their cage. But this is simply not the case. Many hamsters are actually scared of human interaction and therefore don't really need much playtime. There isn't really a recommended or a necessary amount. It is recommended for 30 to 60 minutes of playtime daily. However, if you do skip a day because your hamster personally doesn't want to, or you personally can't, it's not the end of the world.
Unlike hamsters, rabbits are not rodents, and lots of people still think that rabbits are rodents, but they are not. They are lagomorphs along with hares and pica mice.
Come from the rodent family, which contains of many different animals, for example, guinea pigs, chinchillas, rats, mice, dagoos, gerbils, and even more.
Let's talk about breeds. Rabbits are capable of interbreeding with each other, and there are many breeds such as Rex, Holland Lop, Netherland Dwarf, and more.
Unlike rabbits, hamsters are not breeds. Instead, they are different species. There are 5 domesticated species and over 20 in the wild. But what makes hamsters species? Hamsters cannot interbreed, meaning they are not breeds. For example, you cannot get a Syrian Robo mix or a Chinese Winter White mix. This is simply not possible. The only exception to this rule is Winter Whites and Russian Kammersdorfs can unfortunately interbreed. This causes hybrids, however, should not be done because it's highly unethical and causes many health problems with these hybrids, for example, increased risk of diabetes.
In the wild, rabbits are descendants of the European rabbit, and they were bred in the past to become the special breed that they are now. There's also different types of rabbits, such as cottontails and more, that you can find in the wild.
Hamsters are native to many places in the world, depending on their species. For example, the Syrian hamster, as suggested in the name, come from Syria and Turkey regions. However, the Roborowski hamster comes from different areas of China and the Middle East, where there is more desert and it's much hotter. The Winter White comes from different regions of Siberia, where it's much colder, and the European hamster comes from different regions of Europe, for example, France.
And that topic will conclude today's video. For the rest of the topics that we also covered, be sure to check out Simply HamHam's video as well. And in her video, she's going to be covering a few different topics. So if you're interested in that, then please go check her channel out. This is it for today. I'll see you soon. Bye!